Oh, sit down and get into this, eh? Rightio, legends. What is up? Welcome to the last episode of the year. This is going to be an exciting one. We've got a lot of things to wrap up for the year, few questions, few updates and news from what's been going over the last few weeks. No better way than to get just stuck straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with making a massive special mention to everyone that's helped me out, looked after me this year, come on board, just a bit of all the general love and support. First major one, you've heard his name a million times, is Luke out at LJ Fab. This guy's an absolute legend. To see how far he's come in the last few years of his job building trays and fabrication and all that stuff has been absolutely unreal. Luke's turned into a great mate towards myself. Unfortunately, I don't get to see him that much, being a couple of hours away, but want to change that for 2024. I think it was about July or August. Sorry if I got these dates wrong, but I picked up my new tray from him, and I'm absolutely stoked with that thing. It's got everyone turning. It's made me fall back in love with the ute again. I'm absolutely stoked with how good the trays look, and we just got a few extra little things to finish off next year. Is get the exhaust done for the stacks, so very keen for that. And then who knows, next year we might look into more things, maybe ladder racks or canopies or different bits and pieces. But yeah, I've been super stoked with my tray from Luke, and yeah, he's an all-round good bloke, genuine country guy, happy to help anyone, and he's just passionate about his business and doing what he does. So massive shout out to the family over at LJ Fab. They've looked after us absolutely immensely over the last couple of years, and this year especially. So we thank him massively for jumping on and being really one of the first and main sponsors for the podcast. Yeah, the thanks you can't give enough for that bloke and everything he's done for me. So yeah, go check him out, LJ Fab. You've heard me talking about him a million times. Second one I'm going to round up is JMax Off Road Solutions. Guys, if you know my page, you know JMax, and there's three key names, but this isn't key names limited to anyone that works at JMax. If there is anyone that's listening to this from JMax that I don't mention your name, know that you haven't been missed. I could rattle off names of that company for days. But biggest names I want to say thank you to is Jai, Jason, and Rob. You guys have been an absolute massive help with the sport this year and just getting everything moving along. And the way my ute's set up now, how much you've looked after me, convinced me to change and upgrade to Alpha Shocks was probably one of the best decisions I made before doing a trip out to Kenilworth and literally belting him across the desert out to Fink for 2 weeks and back, and they have been absolutely flawless ever since. So super stoked that, I made the right choice 3 years ago to go with JMax, and how much support they've looked after me, and to buy a kit and put something in the ute that you've never really tested but you've only taken recommendations from, and to have it perform absolutely flawlessly it just shows the level of respect they put into their own work and products to what they provide to the client. The way their customer service team is set up is second to none, and I've seen that firsthand from coming as a no one in this industry and sticking with the same company at JMax for the last 3 years. It's been phenomenal. Yeah, those guys need to give themselves a massive pat on the back. The whole office team, everyone in those sheds, all their retailers, they're doing a cracker job. So huge thanks to the boys out there, buddy. Yeah, Rob, Jai, and Jason especially. They're the leaders for me around the sunny coast. Can't go wrong with either of them. Another follow-up is Dave at Top Coat Auto Detailing. This guy, if you need a clean rig or you've ever seen my ute look clean, we've got a YouTube video coming out hopefully this Chrissy holidays. Sorry, I can't give you a date on it just yet, but the bloke who I've got editing that is currently away, so let him enjoy his Chrissy break and holidays. But yeah, Top Coat Dave, he's an absolute legend. He's running a shop in Maroochydore for detailing. We've done the dry ice blasting on my ute, cleaned up the chassis. It's looking absolutely immaculate. 101,000 Ks, and this car looks brand new underneath. And when I say brand new, it is brand new. It's not going to a tint and panel shop and just getting the whole thing black sprayed underneath. It's cleaned to the bare chassis. Like, whatever it comes out factory, but better. That's how good it was cleaned. And then we've just coated everything in a clear spray. It's beautiful. You've all seen me, buddy. Every time I go get the ute detailed, it's only by David Top Coat. Don't use anyone else. And there is good reasons for that. You see people like Mac and TJ and Matt and Chloe from All Time. They're huge supporters of Top Coat. And it just shows that Dave's doing good work, and the people that I've seen that I've recommended and go use him as well, and the results they've had and how good some of their cars have come out. It's just unbelievable. And the level of work and commitment this guy puts into his products, like when I've rocked up to just go and catch up with Dave, he's had Harleys and classic cars and everything, and he's just so dedicated to how much he respects those cars and treats them like his own. So massive congratulations to David Topcoat for everything he's doing at the moment. Still trying to push him to get products out there for sale so you can buy whatever products he uses. I don't know what they are, but it's wizard shit. It's amazing. It's magic. But massive thank you to David Topcoat. He's based in Maroochydore. Go check him out for any needs. I need like dry ice blasting, ceramic coat, System X, or you just general inside out details. You won't go wrong. Definitely won't go wrong. Another one that was a real latecomer into this year was Nightfab. Everyone's seen me and pestered me for the last, 2 years pretty much from when I've had this cruiser is get rid of that stock snorkel. Stock snorkels is crap. I finally did it. The young family there down at Nightfab, they are just a young family-grown business, and they were happy to help me out, and I'm more than happy to help them out. We got the snorkels fitted up late this year when they come through. The driver side one, which is all plumbed up and nice and beautiful now, it went in absolutely perfect. Couldn't have been. The templates were perfect. It's pretty much fail safe. I'm not one to be a bodyworks person and cut into a guard, but it was beautiful. He's got them down pat now. So low cut twin 4-inch 79 series stainless snorkels. He's got them. He's producing them. We had one issue with the passenger side, and that was where it mounts into the guard. It hit on like an injector relay box. So we just had to cut like 50 to 100 mil off it. I've sent that information back to him now, and so he can get that rectified before any other kits go out. But I'm super stoked with it. I'm a very symmetrical OCD person. So everyone that's looked at my ute, you'll see everything's side to side the same now, which I'm really loving. Once the exhaust is going to be done, they'll just put the tick on the list for me. So like twin spotties, twin aerials, twin snorkels, then twin stacks, and then just everything else the same. It just makes it for me. It's just beautiful, and especially the way with the new tray having like the twin fillers either side, one for water, one for fuel. Yeah, I'm loving this car at the moment. So yeah, Nightfab. He's based in Victoria. Jump onto him on the socials. He's been a massive person to partner up and change the look of the ute. I suppose you could call it a 2.0 build that we've done this year, is like the tray and the snorkels and bits and pieces with the bar and all that. But it's probably like build 10.56. Don't know. It's had that many reiterations, tray setups, canopy setups, camping setups, bar setups, interior setups. Another thing I'll be looking for in the future is just new console things, new head units, overhead consoles, stuff like that, which I'll be going into. I'll be using a mate of mine as well. We will be going over all the 12-volt electrical in the car and doing that up very nicely. So cheeky little plug for him is MetaLink Touring. He's based on the sunny coast. He will do anything 12-volt electrical, all your camping solar setups. He's a wizard, Hato. He knows what he's doing. So massive shout out to him. Last but not least on the brand front, one you've all seen me push over probably the last 6 to 9 months, has been Heatwave Visual. If you don't know what Heatwave are, they are a sunglasses company out of the United States that are pushing the Australian market. Hundreds and hundreds of different designs. I've been loving their sunnies. This, yeah, not a paid advertisement, none of that, but they looked after me for a couple of sets of sunnies. Super stoked on how well these sunnies been going. I'm pretty well known for damaging and destroying all my sunnies, and yeah, these ones have held the test of time. There's lots and lots of different designs. You can actually, it's one of the only places where I've seen you can go online and build your own design of sunnies, like make your own custom sets, whatever colors, lenses, anything like that. So just a cheeky little shout out to Heatwave Visual AU. Check them out on the socials. They're doing massive things in the Australian market. They've just released motorbike goggles, all that sort of stuff. They're racing. It's good to see the Australian industry for forward driving racing, motocross, motorsports just in general. Just having a huge uplift this year. It's been phenomenal. Couple of key shout outs for mates. I can't list absolutely everyone on this list. The biggest one will have to go out to some of my best mates, and first but not least is Andre. Everyone knows him as the Piss Bus, the Blue Ute, everything like that. This guy has been through thick and thin this year, going from just partying, enjoying life, to being my best mate, and yeah, to only know each other for not even a year. I think it's about a year now. It's unreal. Stoked to have him in my corner and everything we're doing with the racing and that. It gets tough at times, but massive shout out to that bloke because he's the hardest working bloke, pushing everything with the content and the design, the fab, everything like that. So yeah, super stoked for next year with that bloke. See where it goes. Next one. Lately, you've seen all the water sports action we've been doing and just stuffing around, general mates on the farm, bikes, all that good stuff. One of my good mates, Brock. This guy, him and his family don't get enough credit. Letting us take out their boat to the dam nearly every weekend, go wakeboarding, all that sort of stuff. Everyone they invite around when we go out to their farm, jump on the motorbikes. It goes underappreciated by a lot of people, and I can say that is not the case for me. What his family does for me is huge. Looking after us, lending us a boat, let us take it out. Brock, Jimmy, the whole family. Thanks, boys. It's it's unreal. Looking forward to a big summer, getting out on the boat, the skis, everything. Yeah, it's been huge. Another one as well is Matt and Chloe from All Time Adventures. Huge help this year. Matty helping me out the potty. We haven't done too many sort of sit down boys episodes lately. We've just been focused on the guest episodes. So maybe in 2024 we'll bring that back a bit harder. And 2024 is gearing up to be a good year with the potties. So very keen on that. Focus a bit more. Take it a bit more serious again. I keep saying it, but every time we sit down for one of these potties, whether it's me doing it by myself and just getting used to talking to myself for an hour or whatever it might be, we're just getting better and better and better. Whether it's audio, visual, something like that, it's only getting better, getting way, way better. So massive shout out to those people. There's always honourable mentions. The whole crew that I've been out with this year is just filming content, media, and all that sort of stuff. Mick, Sam, Mitch, that whole crew, Bridget. They're just doing massive things in the industry that everyone's focusing, working their absolute asses off. So it's absolutely unreal to see. It's all the negatives that do come in this industry, the positives outweighing them, and that's what people remember is the positives. And yeah, super stoked to see what next year brings us. Everyone's talking about the plans already, and it's going to be absolutely huge. So that was sort of a bit of a 2023 roundup for, I don't know, brand sponsors, mates. Big thing, some of the trips we did this year. Geez, to try and think back about it, some of the content we had go absolutely viral. Was insane. Doing trips, full drive trips everywhere. We did. Geez. Well, we started off the year at Five Rocks up north. Come back. We've been hooking into the race truck. Couple of trips out to Kenilworth and Glasshouse with the boys. Lots of Somerset trips. We went to Cape York this year. Cape York in a budget Pajero, 7 mates. Just go absolutely annihilating the fun. Over on Sam Oles, Built Not Bought, and Mick's Dare to Explore channels, you'll see the whole trips there. They'll buddy. Some of the funnest fun I've had off road. That doesn't even make sense. Funnest fun, but the most fun I've had off road. Just budget car, next to no breakages. Just enjoying it with mates. It wasn't about what gear you had, how your setups were, who had what. It was enjoying time with mates, wheeling off road, and genuine laughs and a good time. And yeah, I think everyone, if you've got the option to jump in a car with some of your best mates and go traveling, doesn't matter where it is, Double Island, Fraser. It could be Vic High Country, it could be Cape York, it could be WA coastline. Yeah, massive shout out, buddy, to those boys just jumping in a car together and we just take off. Another one was Finke. Heading out to Finke this year. That was my first time going to Finke Desert Race, and it was absolutely unbelievable. Like, to tick that off the bucket list, I want to be going again next year. I think everyone sort of got in the back of their mind is, what are we doing for Finke? How are we setting up? Are we like, I know some of the boys are talking about, like, let's just fly in there and get a motorhome. Like, there's some crazy ideas coming through. Like, are we going to take bikes and, buggies and race trucks or whatever it might be and go have some fun? So, yeah, there is a lot gearing up for next year, and I'm so keen on it. But this year's highlights were just, how do you run through them all without forgetting something? Like countless trips up the beach. Yeah, like didn't do much of Fraser or Morton or anything like that this year, but we're saving that for next year. We'll do a lot more next year with wheeling in the ute and longer distance trips, maybe some budget challenges. Do we get another car or something like that through the year and with a few of us and do a budget run somewhere or something again? So I think that'd be cool. But yeah, super stoked on how good this year's been. Highs and lows, they all come, but they don't stay. So with that being said, that was sort of a 2023 roundup and super stoked on 2024. I want to go through. Recently, we just went on a day out to Somerset Dam for Live and Loose. That event was absolutely plastered everywhere. You had Live and Loose, of course, myself, Hey Big Mac Podcast, Blue Collar Bandits, Hilux Owners Girls Club, I think that is, or Hilux Girls Club, CC Racing, Jeb Parsons Motorsports. Guys, what an absolutely epic day on the water. All the people have rocked up just to enjoy it, come out, say good day, meet each other. People that come from interstate, like driving like far interstate just to come to the event and, jump on the jet skis, go for a rip. And yeah, I think there's a minor accident there on the day. Some bloke done his knee, but all in all, everyone stayed really responsible, had their fun. And yeah, I think everyone can sort of give themselves a pat on the back for how much fun was had that day. And yeah, everyone, like, I just came home that next day. I was wrecked. Laid in bed, in the bar, pool, and just relaxing because I was so sore, just, wakeboarding and jet skis and all the stuff that just takes it out of you. Yeah, it was an epic day and I can't wait for the next one. I know the boys were cheekily talking about a new event for Australia Day next year. Don't know the exact logistics about it yet, but I'm not even going to speak on ideas that we've talked about because it's it's going to be good when you see that. So on the podcast and the Hey Big Mac and the Froth Bros Media stories, you're going to see that probably come up over the next month and until Australia Day. And it's so if you haven't booked Australia Day yet, don't book anything until we announce it, because it's going to be huge. There's going to be water, cars, everything, four-wheel drives, the whole lot. It's going to be cool. So very, very bloody keen for that. A few of you seen on the socials a couple of weeks back, we had a very, very important guest to me. One I wanted to do for such a long time was Bridget Cruzado from Red Dirt. Her episodes are going to be the next episodes after this episode. So guys, on the 3rd and the 8th of January, we have 2 episodes, so part 1 and part 2, coming out about Red Dirt. Bridget talks about absolutely everything happening with Red Dirt, that's happened with Red Dirt, just everywhere that she's gone in a career, from working with brands and people she's met and experienced, and the goods and bads she sees in industry. She lets it all loose, as I think is a really good spot. And this is what I want to do with the potty, is give people a safe space where they're not tied down to content, sponsors and deliverables and all this sort of stuff, where they've got a free space to talk openly and not be held back on their own words from their own sponsors. And not that I'm saying sponsors are holding people back from saying that. It's, you've got commitments and a reputation to hold up on your own page. And I think that's a perfect spot for the potty, is to allow someone to come on, speak their mind, speak their truth, and just genuinely have a chat. And like Bridget, I can't thank enough. I can't believe we actually sat down and talked for 5.5 hours. That is insane. So 2 massive episodes to kickstart next year. If we get some bonus episodes in between that, of just updates, maybe something's happened over the New Year's, we'll put them in between there somewhere, or before and after. But yeah, you're stay tuned for that. Make sure you're jumping over to like YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to. Follow, hit the bell, get the notifications on. Even automatic downloads, guys, I don't say it enough. Automatic downloads helps huge. We've got bloody Optus and Telstra, 2 of the worst bloody internet providers in the world. Dropped us, fucking everyone bloody nicknames it, and bloody Telstra, I don't have a nickname for them. They're just shit half the time. But when we don't have reception, guys, you need to download the episodes overnight, the day before, and if you hit automatic downloads, you're not going to get cut out halfway through an episode. And if you're driving out in the bush or up the beach, we know how bad the reception gets. Automatic downloads, guys, you're never going to miss an episode. You're never going to miss a beat. You're never going to miss that cliffhanger that you get stuck on when you go out of service. So, guys, we appreciate absolutely everything you do to support this potty. And it's just the littlest things. Supporting us on Instagram, YouTube, the Spotify, Apple Podcasts, just subscribing and following and rating us and thumbs up. I know it's not as easy as it sounds, but just when you click on the video or click off the video, give us a rating, a follow, a bell, a download, or a like and a comment on YouTube, or just jumping over to the Instagram page and giving us a comment, a like, or a share. We've dropped off a little bit, but screenshotting these episodes, sending them in, tagging us. We will reshare every single bloody one, good or bad. We want to hear your opinions. If it's good about us, bad about us, constructive criticism, the whole lot. It's how we learn. It's how we're getting better at this potty. And it's good to see other people bringing up potties now as well. Everyone listens to a podcast at some form. There are some huge, huge names in Australia doing potties right now. Little bit of a side detour. There's Gypsy Tales. I've followed him for absolutely years. He's over in the States now. Alpha Blokes, can't not mention those boys. They're killing it. 2 Flogs. You've got Proper True Yarn. Man, how many potties are there that you can just keep listing off? The Inspired Unemployed, they've got their own potty. Bloke in a Bar, Bloody Brilliant Beers. And there's too many to to list. There's another one that's just kick-started off. Their name is Girls and Gears Podcast. These are some girls over in Perth, in WA. You might have seen on the socials as well if you're listening to this. Bridget's done my episode. She's also just gone over and done an episode with the girls over there. So massive shout out to the girls. Girls and Gears Podcasts, a couple of four-wheel drivers and that, just kicking off in the industry. Very keen to see what they're getting into. Another big WA name is Ronnie Dahl. Not a huge fan of Ronnie's content, but he is doing good stuff in the industry. He's getting his content out there. He's got his own, I think it's called the Four Wheel Drive Podcast. Very same concept. He goes into a lot of detail on just trips, cars, all the different information. So it's another one, just getting the four-wheel drive industry out there. So it's really, really good to see. I'm bloody stoked on just bringing another aspect to the Australian industry. We've had every social media influencer, whatever you want to call them, go out there, film their Fraser, Double Island, Cape York, Vic High Country, Simpson Desert, the NT, wherever it might be, over. Like, you got other ones. That's like an exception, I'm going to say, is Jamie Vogler. He is traveling Australia and the WA coastline like no one else. He's in the mint spot of WA. He's doing trips up north, south. I mean, you can rattle them off for days, but the content this guy is putting out is absolutely unreal on his YouTube channel, and it goes very unnoticed. The level of work he's putting into those videos, the effort he goes to get them done is unreal. And I do look up to a lot of these guys a lot. Trying to bring in YouTube myself, and yeah, to see how Jamie implements his content into YouTube and all that sort of stuff, it's bringing a new sort of taste where, like, he did one not too long ago and it's called Dirt Cartog Island. Never even heard of that place before, and I guarantee a lot of other people haven't. And he put that video up, and now it's just a spot that it's in my bucket list. I want to go there one day. What he's doing with Sea-Doo is huge. Massive shout out, of course, to his company Wet Sacks. He's killing it. Dry bags, all that sort of stuff. I've got a couple of wet sacks off him. I've absolutely tortured those things over the last year, and they're flawless. It's had meat, food, fish, drinks, ice. It's been used for absolutely anything. Dirty clothes bag, clean clothes bag, a travel bag. Like, I've done flights up and down the East Coast where all I've taken is my wet sack backpack as a carry-on luggage, and that's all I've got. Yeah, bloody love it. There's a lot of honourable mentions and shout-outs coming out from this episode, and it's bloody good, but it's well-deserved. Jamie's still a massive bloke I want to get on the potty. I say it every time he comes to the East Coast. We've just never been able to line it up. There is a few big guests. Let's just talk some guests I want to get on for next year. As some people say, I want to get Sam, Mick, and Mitch back on and just talk life and general stuff with them. I think the episode we did with Sam was unreal. Unfortunately, we had those audio issues, and yeah, I was devastated about that. But we got the studio and everything's going better. I want to get Sam back on, talk to him, and just get an update on what he's doing maybe for 2024 and all that sort of stuff. A few other guests I want to get on. I really want to get Mac and TJ on, and Matt from Explore Life, and maybe even Tommy. Ryan Kessel, he's a big one. His photography and stuff he does with Frontier Lines, huge. Massive inspiration for photography for me. I just look up to that guy's content so much. Yeah, I'm really keen to see who yous want to hear on this potty next year, and more guests. Really want to get Dave from Top Coat on to just talk about everything as well. Jai, Rob, and Jason from JMax, talk to those guys. I want to get them on the potty. That's if they're up for it. I know Rob he's a very keep to himself person, but Jai and Jason, I've talked to Jai a little bit. Very keen to try and make something happen there. Maybe we do a trip out west and go see Luke from LJ Fab, and we get him on the potty and talk about his journey with building trays and fabrication and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, maybe just get a few. There's a lot of genuine people coming up that are doing great things in the industry, businesses, brands, or just content creators that I'd love to talk to. And I'm not, what's the right word for it? There is a specific word to make this sound right, but I'm not biased against anyone coming on the podcast. We might not get along. We might have not the same point of views, but I want to give you a free space, a safe space to come on the potty and talk your brands, your businesses, everything you're seeing in the industry. If you feel like you have something to say, call them up and send us a message about them. And yeah, like more than happy to talk to everyone. Suspension companies and barwork companies, and there's all these companies coming out now, like tool companies. There's what else? Like retailer shops, I suppose you call them. Something like Lies Recovery Gear, all the accessories, bits pieces. It'd be awesome to talk to a few of those guys running those shows. But yeah, be very very cool. I think is to yeah, focus on the guests a little bit more next year and book in full time. We've got a couple of good sponsors lined up next year, which you're going to see in the future episodes, and one I'm really looking forward to. It's going to change the way everyone interacts about the way you promote your car online and get information across to people. It's like a resume. So I'm going to leave it like that. It's like a resume for your vehicle. So very keen to hear this one out and get advertising on them and using it myself, because everyone knows the questions you get on your cars and what you've done, where'd you buy this and what'd you do here. It's just an easier way of getting that across to people in detail and yeah, doing it like that. So we are going to take a little gap and we're going to get into some questions. So let's go and do that. Alrighty, let's look into a few questions that I got. I got pumped with a lot of questions when I put up a story. I picked out just 4 of my favorite ones that I've seen in there that are really going to relate to this episode. First one that I picked out was, what is my goal for 2024? This is going to follow up with a few of the other questions, but my goal for 2024 is essentially push social media to a time where I'm in to a point where I'm in a full-time position. Like either part-time working on the side and then doing content and promotion and talking on the potty and filming videos and doing trips. It's feels like one of those things that is just a dream that's slowly becoming true, and that's just the hundreds of hours, all weeks, months of the year, just putting out content, editing videos, doing the potties, and starting to see a little bit of a payoff now, which has been really good. But yeah, my goal for next year is good, consistent content on Froth Bros Media and the podcast. 2 massive ones that I really want to hook into next year and do it. The trips that we got planned, really keen for that. Yeah, it's going to be a big year, 2024. Just looking so forward to it. Not even really taking a break for Christmas and the holiday period. Working through getting content done, like I'm sitting here right now. I think it's like two days out from Christmas, and I'm filming another potty to get out for you guys Christmas Eve. This will be out so I'm filming this Saturday. It's going to be out Sunday, just before Christmas, which is crazy. But if you are actually, that's another one I want to mention. A lot of people forget about this. If you're listening to this today, the Christmas Eve, go out tonight and buy your alcohol, because everyone knows everything's shut on Christmas. Same with New Year's, all that sort of stuff. Guys, buy your alcohol and your grog for your parties before it's too late. Be safe and enjoy the Chrissy holiday period. But yeah, everyone always forgets that, and that was sent in as well. Is remind everyone to get their grog before public holidays and the bottle-os close. So remember that if you're listening to it today, the Christmas Eve, go out, buy your grog, make sure you got everything, all your stuff. So yeah. Another question we had was dream trip for next year. Now, there is so many spots I want to put on my list, but WA is one of them. I don't think WA is going to happen next year. I could be wrong, unless something massively changes. But I'm very keen to head back out to Finke and maybe do a bit of the Territory next year. Cape York's going to be done again, I'm sure. Maybe Vic High Country would be awesome to get down to Vic and do a bit of the High Country. Yeah, I know a bucket list trip is definitely like Tassie. But yeah, that'll just come in good time. But yeah, there's dream trip for next year is going to be a tough one. It's probably going to be High Country, or when we head out to Finke again, head up the top of the NT, Kimberley's maybe even if I can get over that far to WA. But yeah, that'd be a good one. What type of content do you expect for next year to be making? Bit of a long question, but type of content next year, I sort of want to split it into 3 to 4 categories. We're going to have the podcast, full episodes, clips. We're also going to have on Froth Bros Media. I want to split it up a bit. There's one I'm not going to really speak on too much, but we're going to have the racing, all the stuff with the racetrack, me and Andre, all that. And then going to focus a bit more on my stuff, like my mechanical stuff on the ute, maintenance, trips, full drives, sort of more day in the lifestyle videos and vlogs. Do a bit of that sort of content, like just a random fun that everyone gets up to. And you see with a lot of these so-called influencers, if you want to quote them as that. But all these people have like these massive full drive channels, but they're not filming the little things they get up to. And that's where I want to bring in a more general lifestyle to the YouTube. Not copy, but follow in the lines of a bit what like Seaboys TV do, and they do a bit of everything and all that sort of stuff. And that's where I want to sort of head with it. Maybe bring in a couple of people where we can focus on like the motocross and the water sports side of things a bit more, and really take on that aspect with like, get out on the boats and the jet skis and all that sort of stuff, like either on the dams or offshore. And then also myself just with the full drive doing hard wheeling and touring trips and basic versus expensive. Like I could go on for ideas that I've got written down in my notes for days for trips and videos. But merging more content means more videos. I would love to be doing, between the podcast and Froth Bros Media, 2 to 3 videos a week, which is a massive ask. So it's 1 potty a week and 2 YouTube videos a week. It is a massive demand to be putting out even 1 video a week, whether it's the podcast, which is very straightforward to edit up and do. But doing YouTube videos, they can take a full day of editing. And that's where I need to, quote unquote, find my so-called Jamie that Joe Rogan has and get some people that can help me with the potties, producing stuff, editors, all that sort of stuff. I've got some good people that I've lined up to be able to help with that sort of things now. But options always open. But yeah, going chasing that sort of dream a little bit more and harder and dedicating myself to it. And I've done that a little bit at the end of this year, is dropping back on socials content on Instagram to focus more on the YouTube and podcast and all that sort of stuff. And I see it paying off. People are paying attention. You are watching. We do appreciate it. So yeah, it goes a long way. Last question has been asked a lot recently. Would you do tag along trips? This is good and bad, or good and hard, I should say, is a lot of the people love the trips that we do, and it comes down to a lot of the people that we have on those trips, how comfortable they are being with cameras. And there's a different aspect to doing a trip with people that are content creators, because it's not just sitting there and watching and admiring and shooting through something, it takes twice as long to film everything and to do everything. And yeah, it's different. I would love to do tag along trips. I think event days, like do a double island event day where we go up to DI and enjoy the day, or so and so, like go find a beach down in South Australia or up north around Cairns, or do trips like that. But the more people you have on a trip, the more things there are to coordinate or go wrong or anything like that. I do want to bring um, partners and sponsors on, so called, to do like trips together and get to know the people behind the names of these brands and what their rigs are and what their lifestyle is and what they like to do. And yeah, bring a bigger aspect in more the branded side. But tag along trips can be hard because you don't know, especially if we don't know each other. It's a hard way to meet because I'm not I'm not dedicating my time to the guests that might be coming on the trip. I'm dedicating it more to filming content, organizing everything, and it can be hard. It can be hard, but I do enjoy just doing random trips out to the bush, wheeling with mates and the boys, and all that sort of stuff. So definitely keen to do more of that. But yeah, as tag along trips go, yeah, you've sort of got to do like an event day and dedicated day to it where we don't have to be filming. We can actually enjoy it and just have fun. So yeah, hard, but the priority is doing trips where we can film, get the content out there, and make some entertainment for you guys that want to listen and watch. So yeah, bit of a hard one to go into because I don't like saying no to anyone. But yeah, tag along trips would be cool. It's just working them out how to do them right. But yeah. Let's jump into some updates and news. Why not? There's a bit of a weird list here from the last. I've collected some things from the last 1 to 2 months. So yeah, I'm going to have a quick drink and we're going to get into updates and news. Alrighty, it's you're not going to see me cracking a drink because it's audio episode only. Unfortunately, I don't have the camera with me today. But yeah, cheers. Hope everyone's having a cracker holidays. Very keen for 2024, but let's get stuck into some news and updates quickly. A few things that I've noticed myself, been sent in, tagged on, and yeah, go from there. Um, Floods and cyclones that just happened up in uh, Cairns region area. Guys, some of the stuff that I'm seeing up there is unbelievable. Doing enough trips up to Cairns and stuff, it's a beautiful place, but I've seen like the Lion's Den. Everyone knows the Lion's Den. You've heard it, you've seen it somewhere. Like it's an iconic bar. It's one of the most iconic pubs, I'd probably say in Queensland and Australia. One of. Um, they've completely nearly gone underwater, I believe. I've seen some videos as just people driving boats around the pub. A lot of the stuff there's gone, damaged. Little to mention just farmers and stuff are there, crops. Bloomfield track. There's reports that the Bloomfield track has been washed away. So that's a huge one. All the like gorges and falls up there. There's a lot of extreme flooding. Yeah, just sending my wishes to everyone that's up in that region right now and getting smashed by those floods and the disaster area. There's a lot of really good people up there that I've been able to meet over the last few years of doing trips up to Cairns and Cape York and all that. Wishing you all the best with rebuilding, recovery. A lot of people have lost some really expensive and sentimental stuff. Homes being flooded, different bits and pieces, cars, vehicles, all that sort of stuff that have been swept away, damaged property. It's insane, and you don't wish it on anyone. But yeah, be careful, guys, up there. It's I think they're all sort of on the mend now and getting back to the cleanup. So best of luck with all that, guys. Yeah. Next one is 4Drive 24/7 did Ute and Year review. And they also did a beers in the shed episode, and actually, I want to touch on this as well. Their beers on, um, oh, let's see, their beers in the sheds episodes are essentially a podcast. And someone pointed this out to me, but I didn't really notice it like that. And it's a show. It is a visual podcast. It's not on Spotify and all that. It is a dedicated YouTube podcast, basically. It's really good to sit there and watch and just see the boys talk and the clips they get sent in, because it is such a visual show. It's all full driving, wheeling and all that. It's good to see. And I did have the idea of bringing this into trips where we can sit down and talk about trips and lay over content and make it more of a visual, entertaining episode. But yeah, Full Drive 24/7, they did a year review, and they brought in Performance Tourers 4x4. I believe it's Liv and her partner. I might have that wrong. I'm not too sure. But yeah, they did the rig reviews, I suppose you call them, or the comparisons. It's very entertaining to see the different types of four-wheel drives out there, from wheelbase to trays, suspension, power, how they tow, all that sort of stuff. So I really recommend, if anyone's looking to get into four-wheel driving or towing or traveling or trips or whatever it might be, go watch that video and understand some of the details they go into. It's if you're very well versed in all that sort of stuff, it's probably not the video for you. It does maybe get a bit boring, but for anyone that's a newcomer, the day-to-day, the weekend warrior, is a perfect vehicle to think of, what am I going to be after next? What should I be looking at? Price-wise, comparisons, all that sort of stuff. It's very, very knowledgeable. So yeah, little mention for Full Drive 24/7. Big list today is about 10 key points on here. Electricana, Ken Block and Electricana, that was filmed in 2022, the end of 2022, when Ken Block filmed that before he passed away early this year. It was very sick to see the Electricana episode come out, and bit of a flashback to what no one's gotten to see. Very cool driving. Electric's still not for me yet. The Teslas are crazy though. Actually, one thing about the Teslas, which is really cool, and we learnt this feature a couple of days ago, is I was on the way to a work Chrissy party, and literally 50 meters on the road in front of us, there's a car brake checked. There was a police motorcycle ahead, and this car's braked hard. I don't know what they were doing, whether they were speeding or whatever, and they're freaked out because they've seen flashing lights. This taxi has just gone straight up the rear end of them, veered across, taken out a Jeep. The Jeep spun around, hit the other car in the other lane, and we got it on dash cam because of the Tesla. The Tesla records everything. It's got like front, rear, and both side views, and like the dash cam view. And yeah, it's bloody cool to see how much that the car recorded of the accident. And we got every single angle of everything. The car behind it that was struggling to pull up, that pulled up in time, I think it was in like a Bentley or something. But yeah, that was the technology in the electric cars is very cool. So yeah, going off the Electricana, I think it's just bringing a new aspect to motorsports and all that sort of stuff. You also see Nitro Circus are doing Nitro Cross now, and the Nitro Cross has an electric version. Or so I think they get the electric rally cars, they go rally racing and all that, like with the Nitro Cross. It's like the rally cross sort of stuff, and they're in electric cars and bugs and all these, like just your normal Subaru rally cars and all that sort of stuff. It's very cool to see, but I think I'm not sold on the electric stuff for four-wheel driving now. You've seen the Cybertrucks everywhere and all that sort of stuff, but it's not making my mark yet. I still love that grit, four-wheel drive and off-road, loud exhaust, the sound. It's just, yeah, it makes more sense. But yeah, another one that was sent in to touch on, everyone making a rooftop tent now. This is a loaded topic, but you can't say that you haven't seen it. There would have to be 15 to 30, give or take, people selling rooftop tents on the market now. And I'm not saying all of them, but most of them are exactly the same as the last that come out. different colors, different logos, same tent, same design. Not saying anyone's good or bad or anything like that. You've still got your key standout brands. You got like your Bushwhacker, I think it is, Bush Company, Alucab, Motops, plenty of names out there. Like it's so hard to remember all of them. But yeah, you're just seeing so many of these. Like, don't want to call them a Chinese ripoff, but they look and seem like a Chinese ripoff that everyone's just buying from Alibaba and getting their own logos on them, printed from China, bringing them to Oz. It's all well and good because it's bringing an affordable market. A rooftop tent used to be worth 5, 6, 7 grand plus, like the Bunda tops. They're like a 9, 10 grand setup. It's absolutely insane. But if you're living out of that thing every day, they're comfy as hell. My old boy used to have a Bunda top on his Ram, and the thing was just so easy to set up, especially for convenience. But the new rooftop tents, they're somewhere based between like $2,000 to $3,000, which is still affordable for most people if you want to tour a lot. But it's just crazy to see the market being flooded with rooftop tents and everyone saying, like, just buy our rooftop tent. They're the best in the market. These are the best of the best, and you won't find anything better. And it's like, I understand that, but I can go to China and put an order in from Alibaba and get a Froth Bros or the Hey Big Mac podcast rooftop tent. I think they cost like $700 or $800 when you get like 20 of them imported. And then you got your import taxes and all your shipping and all that sort of stuff, but they're not costing you $3,000. And I don't want to be blurting out everyone's secrets here for how they're doing it, because a lot of people are making a business out of it, which is awesome to see. But I think it's getting to a point where middle of next year, we're going to see a hit on all these people bringing this stock in and ripping off other companies, so to speak, and just hitting a wall and no one buying it because they're seeing through all the bullshit and all the people overcharging for stuff. And I mean, you've got Off-Road Jacks, you've got Pro Eagle, the main person for Off-Road Jacks. I believe, I don't know if this is official yet, but I believe King Chrome's bringing out a jack the same, if not better, I've been told. There's also another company that's ripped off the Pro Eagle, which is like Titan Terrain. Don't know how well they're doing, but that's up to them. But ripping off a company's design or copying a company's design and then shitting on that company to make your own design look better isn't the best way to promote a product. You're only going to get as far as that other company, but you're not going to get better. So if you got to shit on a company to make your design or your product look better when it's the exact same, you're not going to go anywhere from it. You're not going to get further. You're not going to be better from it. And you're just limiting yourself to how far you can actually push the potential of that company, I believe. So a bit of my food for thought on that opinion and topic. Rooftop tents are just so flooded now. I don't even have mine on half the time because I don't run the canopy all the time, and it is a nuisance. I like having the swag for those overnight trips and the weekenders and all that sort of stuff because it's just simple. You got a 30-kilo swag or whatever they might weigh these days. Throw it on the ute, strap over the top, done. See you later. You're out for the week. You're not, in my experience, you're not sitting there with a forklift and a rooftop and trying to manhandle it on there and bolt it down for the weekend, just go away for a week. If I'm going up Fraser Island or something for a month or out to the desert or down to Victoria, I'm probably going to take a rooftop. It's just convenient. If I know I'm doing really hard wheeling, I'm going to take a swag. Even if it's 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks on the road, I'm taking a swag just because it's convenient with the wheeling. It keeps that weight down low and it's nice. But yeah, everyone's got their own opinion, their own style of touring, forward driving, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it comes down to a preference really. Another one I want to mention is with the rooftops, Sam Miles just put out a video with Alucab. They've brought in a feature which I think you're going to start seeing in every rooftop on the market now. It is a reclining bench, sort of like a couch in a way, inside your rooftop with like a, what do you call it? Like a desk almost that folds down from the ceiling. I can see the possibility of this turning into like a really good way to have your laptop in there, do some editing if you're on the road, especially in Sam's situation. If he's doing a trip and he's in the rooftop, he can sit there, watch movies, editing. It's so easy and convenient, um, but very cool to have a reclining seat that just like folds up. You've got somewhere like a couch to relax inside your rooftop tent. That is a game changer for rooftops. That's the type of stuff we need to see in rooftops where it's more practical and functional over the competitor in a way. So pretty cool to see that being bought out in a new rooftop with all the power and accessories. And there's a very good video Sam made, buddy, about the rooftop. It's very cool. Yeah, enough of rooftops. Everyone's bloody sick of me talking about rooftops. Everyone's heard of the Red Outdoorer Explorer. I think his name's Jonathan. I've got that correct. Had an unfortunate rollover out at the Springs Fall Drive Park. It's very sad to see such an iconic sort of nice car like that he wheeled the shit out of. Very, very safe rollover, I must say, in a creek bed. It just wet, off camber, slippery, and it just, yeah, a lot of things just perfectly lined up for that thing to be able to roll over. So unfortunate to see, because I know he loves wheeling the absolute crap out of his cars and all that sort of stuff. So I think he set up a GoFundMe on his page. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he wants to rebuild it and get it back together, because I did remember seeing him put out a post saying that is the end for it, but people want to see it come back. So if you love that car and you want to see it come back, go donate him some dollars, a couple of bucks or something, and see him rebuild that thing. I think it'd be bloody sick. Yeah. We've got here as well Sam Oles and Mitch Farrell from Built Not Bought. They're building that new Hilux tray. Seen a little bit on the stories and socials. I actually popped out there the other week to catch up with the boys, and yeah, watching them on the CAD and the plasma, and designing up toolboxes and all the different things he's doing on it. Very eye-opening. Yeah, those boys are very switched on with the design they're bringing up and what they're doing with that tray, and it's going to be cool. So very keen to see that thing done. But yeah, the boys are pushing some hard work lately. Some very hard work. You've also seen, I think, at the moment, like Mac and TJ down in Victoria and South Australia and all that, doing more trips. Mac, unfortunately, just bent his diff housing at the King Chrome event. Got all that back together. I believe he had Pulley building that. One thing I do respect about Mac, though, is he when he breaks something, he's very open about it. He doesn't hide the secrets of everything going on, and you do see that too often in this industry. Someone will break something and they hide it. And it's not because they don't want people knowing they're broken it. It's just, it's the negative stuff that people put with breaking vehicles. Oh, that vehicle's just been trashed and destroyed. The vehicle that's been trashed and destroyed and broken on public social media compared to the one that's been broken, trashed and destroyed and hidden to made look like a perfect gem, both the same cars, but you're going to have two different opinions on them. And yeah, it's hard, like when you talk like resale, people go, oh, wouldn't buy that ute because everyone's seen it a million times and getting trashed and flogged. And but you also see the maintenance and how much they're fixing it and keeping it up to date compared to a car that looks good, looks clean, but wheel bearings might have not been done in 50,000 Ks. Oils haven't been done in 30,000 Ks, but it looks good from the outside. They're things you can't see that you've got to keep up to date with. And I'm not the only one that takes notice of this. Of people have really nice looking utes, but they don't keep the servicing up to date. They don't keep the fundamentals of it there and ready to go. So yeah, that's just another swing there to think of. But yeah, back to what we're saying. Those boys are all hustling over the Chrissy break, filming content, making content. Because if they stop over the Christmas break, you're going to be complaining over January or February. Where's the videos? What's going on with the videos? We're not getting any videos. A lot of these content creators over Chrissy are working their ass off. They are hustling. You see them doing trips away and all that sort of stuff and actually enjoying their time with families and that still. Like there is a lot of family time. But yeah, to see everyone just moving getting content going throughout the year and pushing hard for next year. It's going to be sick. I keep saying it, but it's going to be sick. Two completely different things off topic. I got sent both these links. Going to duck into them quickly. Trevor Jacob. If anyone's ever heard that name, Trevor Jacob, he rides for like Nitro Circus and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to bring up the article that I've seen. YouTuber sentenced to 6 months in prison for crashing plane to get a sponsorship deal. So this is Trevor Jacob's thing. Filmed it for YouTube, where he's crashed his plane. There's actually GoPros angles everywhere. He's wearing a parachute. He's ejected from the plane and just let it crash into the mountain. It says in the ad, the ad, a YouTuber who intentionally downed his aircraft to boost video views as part of a sponsorship deal was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison for deliberately destroying the wreckage. Federal prosecutors said in a news release, Trevor Jacob, 30, of Lompoc, California, pleaded guilty this year to 1 count of destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation. So I'm not exactly sure went on there. I think he might have gone to Tampa with stuff. Prosecutor says that in the aftermath of the crash, which occurred in November 2021, Jacob lied to investigators in a federal aviation administration safety inspector. So Trevor Jacob, who had 143,000 subscribers on YouTube, had posted a 13-minute video told I crashed my airplane. Yeah, there's a lot of info in here. He initially agreed to provide the location and videos of the crash to the National Transport Safety Board and investigators. According to the news release, he later lied, but not knowing the downed plane's location. It was then discovered that he moved the wreckage via helicopter before he cut it up and trashed the remains. So he's tampered with evidence, which obviously the FAA goes into all the different things about. Yeah, so also falsely indicated that he ejected because his plane lost power, and he had falsely told the FAA aviation safety inspector that he ditched the plane because the engine had quit and he could find no safe place to land. Yeah, tough one. You're going to fuck with those people. They're going to make an example out of you, and I think we've all sort of seen that locally as well with Matt Wright. I might quickly see if I can pull up. There's an article not too long ago about Matt Wright. Hold on, bear with me. Jeez, why is it so hard? So hard to find different information on Google these days, but it's all there. Let's just search up Matt Wright sentence. And, all right, we've got a, isn't it funny when you bloody search up someone, Matt Wright, is he still with his wife? Does he get paid? What did he do in the military? And how much is Matt Wright worth Australia? Some people be searching up some weird stuff for people's names sometimes. Here we go. Here's a bit of a more recent thing. So, Matt Wright, the Outback Wrangler star, will head to trial next year accused of perverting the course of justice after a deadly helicopter crash that killed his co-star Chris Wilson, 34, plunged to his death in a remote area of the Northern Territory in February last year while attached to a helicopter owned by Wright. Wright and his pilot, Michael, went to the scene of the crash accompanied by former senior police officer Neil Mellon. 3 men were all later charged with perverting the course of justice and destroying evidence. Wright appeared in Darwin local court on Thursday when the prosecutor said they were ready to go to trial with one of 7 charges. He'll face in the Northern Territory Supreme Court on the 18th of January on 1 count of perverting the course of justice. It's such a weird way of saying, like, obstructing justice, I suppose you'd call it. The other 6 charges, which include tampering with evidence, threatening pilot Sebastian Robertson, who was critically injured in the crash, have been moved to a later date. Burbridge, Michael Burbridge, who was facing 4 charges, pleaded guilty to obstructing of evidence and other 3 charges withdrawn. Mellon is set to appear in court later Thursday afternoon. I think that's a police officer. It comes less than 48 hours after Wilson's widow filed papers to sue Wright's helicopter company, an aviation regulator, after investigation report made damning findings. Yeah, guys, look, I'm not going to keep bloody going into it, but yeah, there's one thing I believe you don't fuck with in this world is the aviation industry. You've seen in the States like Whistler and Diesel fucking around with them and making jokes and all that, and you see like Heavy D and Cleese McFarlane and who's the other one? Like Roman Atwood and all them big YouTubers and stuff getting into aviation works, but as Trevor Jacobs proven, they're not to be fucked with. As Matt Wright's shown, they're not to be fucked with now. Not sure how much time people have spent out in the bush and all that sort of stuff, but there is some crazy things, I suppose you say, that goes on, corners cut, all that, but it's just a way of freedom, country, having fun, all that sort of stuff. I believe the cause of Wright's chopper crash was out of fuel, which is just crazy, but who knows how far they were from anywhere or doing what. And yeah, different circumstances, and it'll all come out in the wash. Everyone's going to find out about it, and yeah, the truth will be there. So crazy. But yeah, don't stuff around with airplanes and all that sort of stuff. I know when I went out to pick up my tray, Luke from LJ Fabby's got a small plane and took me for a ride around Chinchilla, and those things are so delicate but fun. Like, I love just adrenaline, anything like that, and jump in a plane and go rip around and do some dives and like sharp turns, all that sort of stuff. Like, it's just cool. It's fun. So yeah, let's get into a bit of motivation and a page of the week, and we'll probably call it there. So let's hop into that. Rightio, we're back. Going to hit you with a sort of a motivational quote, something like that, just to finish off the year. Sometimes you send these to us, sometimes we find them. So I'm going to play this off. It's by well, it was said by the actor Terry Crews, or Chews, however you say it, Crews. I think it is, but yeah, let's get into that one.
Discipline is not punishment. It's not. Discipline is training. That's all it is. I was talking to my son one time and I asked him, and it was weird because I was trying to see if he really knew what it was all about. And I said, hey man, you know I have to discipline you. What is discipline? And he goes, punishment, punishment. When I do something wrong and you punish me. I was like, no, no. Discipline is training. If you change your mind, your mindset, and really focus it on what discipline really is, you start to welcome discipline. You welcome self-discipline into your life.
There you go. It's sort of true. Like, bit of discipline, all that sort of stuff. I'm shocking for it sometimes, but it's just learning. Yeah, just getting, your everyday programs in order and doing stuff like that. I heard another really good one about discipline not too long ago. It was like, discipline is doing something that you hate, but treat it like something you love. That's discipline. There's a really good way that someone said it someday, and yeah, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it, and your life depends on it. And I don't know, there's so many different cool ways to go about it. I'm shocking for discipline, like different ways everyone can discipline things into their life and like learn it is what they're saying. It's not smacking someone or hitting someone or teaching them right and wrong. It's learning the right and wrong ways. It's not teaching it, it's learning it. So I don't know, everyone's got a different opinion on discipline and how that goes, but yeah, something cool to take note in. All right, last topic for the year. The last rig page of the week is going to go out to a mate of mine, Mitch, and his mate Luke, Shortcut Racing Team. Go check him out on Instagram. Their page is Shortcut Racing. Yeah, doing pretty cool stuff, just racing with their winch truck and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, go check them out. It is Shortcut Racing Team, and yeah, they've got about 1,000 followers. So yeah, TD42 short wheelbase winch truck. Jeez, I can't bloody speak today. Yeah, so Mitch and Luke, they're just bloody jumping in, build a race truck, good bloody on them. Me and Mitchy are heading down to the Podcast Royale. I think it's in April next year. So Mitchy was kind enough, he gave me a bell one RV and he just said, "Oi, what are you doing for the Podcast Royale? I've got 2 tickets, let's go." I was like, sweet, done. I was like, you know what? I've got 2 tickets to the after party, so let's go. So yeah, very keen for that. But yeah, a little shout out for Mitch and Luke, Shortcut Racing. Yeah, they're keen to get into the racing next year. We'll probably be joining them at a few events, depending on which ones. But yeah, they're more set up for like the quite look at sort of like your Ultra 4 and winch truck racing and all that sort of stuff. We're a bit more of the desert high speed, I suppose you call it, short course and different things. But yeah, little friendly shout out to a couple of the boys doing just living life and doing fun things. So cheers, legends. Let's wrap her up there for the year, about a bit over an hour episode. Thanks everyone for an absolutely unreal year on the potty. I think we're 6-7 months in now, maybe a bit more. Can't thank every single one of you enough for all the support this year and everything that's gone in. That comes on behalf of myself and everyone else that helps us with the potty. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Make sure everyone has a great Christmas and New Year break. Don't get into trouble too much at those bloody bush doofs and that down at the beaches. But yeah, everyone do good over the holidays, and we will see you next year. Thank you, legends. See ya. Thank you for 2023. You.